Hare Krishna, everyone. We are continuing to read the teachings of Lord Kapila by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Chapter 6. Devahuti desires transcendental knowledge. Okay, we're continuing text 7. Yesterday we stopped at the point where our senses are part and parcel of the spiritual body of Krishna. When we purify our senses, we can act in our original constitutional position and serve Krishna. When we forget our position and try to satisfy ourselves, we become conditioned materially. When we forget that our duty is to serve Krishna, we fall into the material world and become implicated in personal sense gratification. As long as we continue trying to satisfy our own senses, we have to accept another body. Krishna is so kind that if we want to become tigers, He will give us a tiger body. If we want to become devotees, He will give us the body of a devotee. This life is a preparation for the next, and if we want to enjoy our transcendental senses, we have to purify ourselves to return home back to Godhead. For this purpose, Devahuti is submitting to her son, just as a disciple submits to his master. Text 8. Tasya tvam tamasondasya dushparasya paragam satchakshur janmanam ante labdham me tvadanugrahat. Translation. Your Lordship is my only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance, because you are my transcendental I, which, by your mercy only, I have attained after many, many births. Purport. This verse is very instructive, since it indicates the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. The disciple or conditioned soul is put into this darkest region of ignorance and therefore is entangled in the material existence of sense gratification. It is very difficult to get out of this entanglement and attain freedom. But if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a spiritual master like Kapila Muni or his representative, then by his grace one can be delivered from the mire of ignorance. The spiritual master is therefore worshipped as one who delivers the disciple from the mire of ignorance with the light of the torch of knowledge. The word paragam is very significant. Paragam refers to one who can take the disciple to the other side. This side is conditioned life. The other side is the life of freedom. The spiritual master takes the disciple to the other side by opening his eyes with knowledge. We are suffering simply because of ignorance. By the instruction of the spiritual master, the darkness of ignorance is removed, and thus the disciple is enabled to go to the side of freedom. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that after many, many births, one surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, if after many, many births, one is able to find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender to such a bona fide representative of Krishna, he can be taken to the side of light. The bona fide spiritual master is a true Vedantist, for he knows Vedanta and the Vedas and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. The word Veda means knowledge, and Anta means last phase. There are different types of knowledge. We are interested in ordinary knowledge for economic benefit, but that is not actual knowledge. That is the art of livelihood. One may study to be an electrician and earn his livelihood by repairing electric lines. This kind of knowledge is called Shilpa Jnana. Shilpa Jnana. Real knowledge, however, is Vedic knowledge, knowledge of oneself, what one is, and what God is, and understanding one's relationship with God and one's duty. One who is searching after knowledge is called Jnanavan. Knowledge begins with inquiry. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. What is Brahman? Knowledge also begins by understanding the threefold miseries of the material world: Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, and Adhidaivika. We are suffering from miseries caused by other living entities and acts of nature, as well as from miseries arising from the body and mind themselves. The soul is aloof from the body and mind, but he suffers due to material contamination. We have no control over these threefold miseries. They are controlled by Krishna's maidservant, goddess Durga, who is material nature. She is not independent of Krishna. However, she is so powerful that she can maintain and create. Prakriti, nature, can be very unkind. Mother Durga is often portrayed as chastising demons by piercing them with a trident. Those who are learned and intelligent look to the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for relief from the threefold miseries of material existence. Although this material world is nothing but darkness, people are very proud of their eyes. They're always saying, "Can you show me God?" The answer to that is, have you the eyes to see God? Why is the emphasis placed on seeing? Certainly God can be seen, as stated in Brahma Samhita 5.38. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Quote, Govinda, Krishna, is always seen by the devotee whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. Unquote. If we are devotees, lovers of God, the ointment of love will clear out our eyes. The ointment of love will clear our eyes. In order to see God, we have to cleanse our eyes by wiping away the cataracts of material contamination. Although we may be eager to see God, we cannot see Him with these material eyes. Not only can we not see Him, but we cannot understand Him, although His name is there. Understanding God means, first of all, understanding His name. Therefore, from the beginning, we should chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. God is not different from His name. Krishna's name and Krishna's person are the same. Absolute means that Krishna's name, form, place, dress, pastimes, and everything are not different from Him. Krishna is present in His name, but because we have no love for Him, we cannot see Him. Sanatana Goswami was a great learned scholar, and he was called a Pandita, which indicates that he was a learned Brahmana. When Sanatana Goswami approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, "The people in my neighborhood are calling me a Pandita, and I am very unhappy because of this." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, "Why are you dissatisfied?" Sanatan replied, "I am such a poor Pandita that I do not even know the goal of life. I do not even know what is beneficial for me. I am simply being carried away by sense gratification." In this way, Sanatana Goswami approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did not approach him to get some gold or some medicine. He went to find out his real self-interest. This is the real purpose for approaching a guru. Devahuti approached Lord Kapila Deva in the same way. She said, "My dear Kapila, you have come as my son, but you are my guru, because you can inform me how I can cross the ocean of nescience, which is the material world." Thus, one who feels the need to cross the dark ocean of nescience, which is material existence, requires a guru. It is not the guru's task to supply gold or medicine. Now it has become a fashion to keep a guru as if he were a dog or a cat. This is of no use. We must inquire about that portion of God's creation which is beyond this darkness. The Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita describe another world beyond this material nature, beyond this darkness. According to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 15.6, "Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavaka yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama." Quote, "That abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by electricity. One who reaches it never returns to this material world." It is not possible for us to go to that paravyoma by material means. It is impossible to penetrate the material universe unless one understands Krishna. One can be enlightened by the mercy of God because Krishna himself comes to give us information. If he does not come personally, he sends his devotee, or he leaves behind him Bhagavad Gita. However, we are so foolish that we do not take advantage of them. We do not take advantage of his devotee who hankers to give this knowledge, sacrificing everything. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. Quote, the fallen, conditioned living entity, trapped by the external energy, loiters in the material world. But if by good fortune he meets a bona fide representative of the Lord, and if he takes advantage of such a guru, he receives the seed of devotional service. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 19.151. The seed of devotional service is received by a most fortunate person. Those who are cultivating bhakti in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness are the most fortunate people in the world. By Krishna's mercy, one can receive the Bhakti Lata Bija, the seed of devotional service. Unless one is free from the reactions of sin, one cannot understand Bhakti or Bhagavan. Therefore, we must act piously by giving up illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. If we lead a pious life, we can understand God. This Krishna consciousness movement is engaged in training people to this end so that their lives will be successful. Jai, we're going to stop here for today. We finished text number 8. Tomorrow we shall read text number 9 of the 6th chapter, entitled Devahuti Desires Transcendental Knowledge. Thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book is in the description. Please check out our website, shravanamdiaries.com, and we shall see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.